I'm going to welcome my new friend as of the last Automotive State of the Union. We're going to bring in Bob Lanham, the head of retail automotive for Facebook. We had to jump through a couple hoops to make sure you could appear on the program today, but we made it, and we were able to clear a spot and clear a hole. So, Bob, thank you so much for joining us today.
Yeah, I appreciate to be here, Paul. And I could sit here and listen to the previous speakers all day.
I know it. So, Bob, we don't have a lot of time today, and we'll probably go into this in more depth in maybe another session after this live event today. But Facebook, obviously, I hear conversations as an agency across the industry that people are flocking to really lean in on their digital marketing. And obviously, Facebook is one of the places that is really the first hit, that people are on Facebook with one thing or with some of their spend. Now they're really pushing to platforms like Facebook more. Can you just give us what your perspective is of what you see going on, working, not working right now in the Facebook ecosystem? But actually, could you start by just explaining what your position is and the role at Facebook?
Yeah,
We'll start there.
No problem. So I'm Bob Lanham. I'm the head of automotive retail for Facebook. So I have the privilege to oversee a team that looks over the top 10 dealer groups in the country, as well as partnerships with some of the top software platforms in the industry. And we also work with the manufacturers directly with their co-op programs. So that's what our team does. So obviously we touch dealers every day, every week, every minute of the day. And, I'll tell you, we've always had a large user base. We have 223 million monthly active users. But the key stat that we always love to tell the dealers is we have 171 million a day that is on our platform. And I love what Brian Benstock did earlier when he held up his cell phone and says that you can do most of this on your cell. 95% of our usage is done on a mobile device. And that's really key for dealers to understand. I always tell dealers, look at your own website logs. You're going to see that 70% plus people who are on your website are on your website mobilely. So to answer your first question, our usage has grown. You can imagine social media. People are spending more time on social media today. And just to give you one statistic related to messaging, total messaging is up 50% as of last month. And group calls via Messenger is up 70%. But I'll just tell you real quick, Paul, and then you can ask some questions. There's just there's three things that I outlined that we've learned here in the past month and a half or 2 months is dealers are really starting to evaluate their second largest expense, which is advertising and marketing. They're starting to really dig in and want to learn how is this an investment or an expense? And I often have dealers, tell me that is we want to make this an investment. The second thing is the power of messaging, and I'm calling this the new up, or the digital up, right? People want to engage with retailers through messaging, and that's how they want to converse. That's how they want to set up appointments. Brian again said it best. This is how people are doing it. And then third, it's digital retailing. And what does that mean for the OEM? What does that mean for the dealer? And trying to figure out what that path to purchase really looks like. And also, what doesn't it mean? Because that's just as important as understanding what does it mean.
Yep. And so with those insights, especially the first thing you said, it being a great time to reevaluate your second biggest expense. I've been saying that this is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to build your marketing strategy from the ground up, guilt-free. And guilt-free, I've been harping on that because there are a lot of legacy relationships in automotive and traditional media and all across all types of vendors, and they can get very complex. And now no one's looking at you sideways when you say, you know what, I'm scaling all the way back to zero, and then I'm going to start to rebuild from there. So I think that your role plays a critical part in that, but that is what I've been saying because I really relate to what you said as far as like rebuilding.
Yeah. I'm gonna steal a quote from our good friend David Kane, who I know was on the previous State of the Union.
Oh, please do.
He said this on an interview last week when he was interviewing a gentleman. He said, "Experience is the new brand," and research has told us that in the automotive retail industry, consumers or potential customers are picking dealerships more so because of the experience and less so because of price. And what I've loved to watch in the past month and a half is how dealers have had to reshift their marketing to, why should I come to your dealership? What is the new process? What is the experience going to be? And we've seen more experience ad and brand-based ad and what we call the why buy ads than ever before. And what's interesting is we've had a lot of research, and this has allowed us to grow this research on this concept of brand plus DR, or direct response, or even brand plus digital retailing, if you want to call it that, right? Where your brand advertising actually will influence potential customers or your current customers to engage with that advertising you want them to engage. Could be a lead ad, it could be a VIN specific ad, it could be a click the messenger ad, it could be an ad that drives the digital retailing. So one of the things that we're really working with are groups that we handle. And I actually was on a call yesterday with a manufacturer in a region who's looking to possibly provide money for their dealers. And he said, what should I incentivize them to do? And I said, run brand advertising. Please get them to run brand advertising, because that's what this is all about. It's let the brand drive the direct response. And I'll just give you one story. When I sold cars down at Toyota Sarasota in the 90s, I never once had a consultant join our Saturday morning training sessions or our GM say, hey, this is how you're going to handle ups. The second they walk through the door, simply ask what their number is, what their name is, what their phone number, what their email address is, and then instantly ask them, are they going to buy today, right? But we do that when we only run ads that says click, 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 or provide your contact information so I can call you or email you, whatever that is. So I really hope dealers take away the power of how brand can actually drive their lower funnel advertising, but more importantly, drive a sale.
Well, you know this. You are preaching to the choir. When you say that last statement, it makes my heart feel nice and warm, and I get all excited about that. Let me do this because we are just about out of time, but I know that Facebook has some tools for dealers. Can you just tell us about the tools, and we'll make sure they're linked up in the follow-up email, but how can dealers get better at the platform in general?
Yep, so we launched a dealer hub last year. If you just Google Facebook's dealer hub, we've got a playbook up there that we've had in marketplace for a couple years that we updated at NADA this year. We also have a document that we just created during this period, which are an outline of 4 free tools that dealers can use that are already tied to their business Facebook page or their Instagram handle. So from using Messenger to using Facebook Live to using stories to finally pinning a post to make sure that your most up-to-date information is there. So just Google Facebook's Dealer Hub. We've got documents, we got how-to videos, we got a newsletter, and that'll get started. And also, finally, I'll close with this. Look for possibly a Facebook group here that is going to be targeted to dealers to potentially launch here in the near future.
There you go, Bob. Thank you so much. It's great to kind of introduce you to a lot of people today, and I hope a lot of people connect with you. Use these tools so that we as a community get better at Facebook, but get better at brand, which is actually getting better at listening. So thank you so much for spending some time, and I know we're going to have a longer conversation very shortly back on the show.
Yeah, man. Appreciate you guys. Thank you.
Thank you.